Hello. Hello and welcome back to Key Philosophies. We'll be going back to Franz Bardon, Initiation into Hermetics. We'll be doing Autosuggestion, or the secret of subconscious. So step 2. Step 1 was in the previous video where we covered magic mental training, thought control, discipline of thought, subordination of thoughts, magic psychic training, introspection of self-knowledge, making of the black and white mirrors of the soul, with respect to the elements in the three spheres of activity, and then magical physical training. So if you did not go through that, and at least breeze through that video, I suggest you do so, because going into autosuggestion without the preliminary work might not be advisable. So, with that said, autosuggestion, or the secret of subconscious. Before proceeding to describe the exercises of the second step, let me explain the secret of the subconscious and its practical consequences. In the same way as normal consciousness has its seat in the soul and is activated by the cerebrum in the body, consequently, the head subconsciousness is a property of the soul residing in the cerebellum, i.e., the back part of the head, the minotaur. With respect to the magical practice, let us deal with the study of the psychological function of the cerebellum, consequently, the subconscious. In every individual that is in his right senses, the normal sphere of consciousness is intact, i.e., he always and at any time is capable of making use of the functions of normal consciousness. As it results from our investigations, there is no power in the universe nor in man that does not vary between opposites. Hence, we may consider subconsciousness as the opposite to normal consciousness, or the opposite pole. That which in normal consciousness we subsume by the concept of thinking freely, willing, memory, reason, and intellect is reflected in our subconsciousness in a contrary way. So, the concepts of thinking, feeling, willing, memory, reason, and intellect are reflected in our subconscious in a contrary way. Practically speaking, we can regard our subconscious as our opponent. The incentive or the impulse to all that is undesirable, such as our passions, our failures, our weaknesses, originates just in this very sphere of consciousness. To the pupil now falls the task of introspection, to disclose the work of this subconsciousness according to the key of the elements, or the tetrapolar magnet. This is a satisfactory task inasmuch as the pupil will acquire self-reliance by his own reflection or meditation, or what have you. Hence, subconsciousness is the incentive of all we do not wish for. Let us learn how to transmute this, so to speak, antagonistic aspect of our ego so that it not only does no harm, but on the contrary, will help to realize our desires. Subconsciousness needs time and space in the material world for its realization. Two basic principles valid for all things that have to be transmuted into reality from the causal world. Withdrawing time and space from the subconscious, the opposite polarity will cease to bring its influence to bear upon us, and we shall be able to realize our wishes through the subconscious. This sudden elimination of the subconscious offers the key for the practical use of autosuggestion. If, for example, we inculcate in the subconsciousness the wish of not giving in tomorrow or any other time to any of our passions, say smoking or drinking alcohol, subconsciousness will have time enough to put some hindrances directly or indirectly in our way. In most of these cases, mainly in the presence of feeble or underdeveloped willpower, subconsciousness will nearly always succeed in taking us by surprise or causing failure. On the other hand, if we exclude the concept of time and space from subconsciousness while impregnating it with a desire, only the positive pole of subconsciousness will affect us. Normal consciousness being equated and our impregnate desire must have the success we are expecting. This knowledge and the possibilities related to it are of the greatest importance for the magical development, and have therefore to be considered as far as self-suggestion is concerned. The phrasing to choose for autosuggestion must always be expressed in the present or imperative form. You should not say, I shall stop drinking or smoking or whatever. The correct form is, I do not smoke, I do not drink, or else I do not like smoking or drinking, and so on, according to whatever you wish to suggest in a positive or negative sense. The key or clue to self-suggestion is to be found in the form of phrasing. It is that which always and in every respect has to be considered if you wish to do autosuggestion through subconsciousness. Subconsciousness is acting in the most effective and penetrating way during the night, when man is asleep. In a state of sleep, the activity of normal consciousness is suspended, subconsciousness working in its place. The most appropriate time for autosuggestion receptivity, therefore, is the moment when the body is resting drowsily in bed. For example, immediately before falling asleep, as well as immediately after waking up, when we remain still, half awake. That does not mean that a different time would be unsuitable for self-autosuggestion, but these toe moments are the most promising. Subconsciousness being the most receptive at that point. That is why the magician will never go to sleep in an emotional attitude such as anger or depression. Worries which would have an infallible influence in his subconsciousness, going on in the same train of thought with which he had fallen asleep. Always go to sleep with peaceful and harmonious thoughts or ideas about success, health, and pleasant feelings. Before you practice autosuggestion, make up a small chain of 40 beads. A knotted piece of string will also do fine. This expedient is only meant to avoid counting when you are reiterating the suggestive formula over and over, so as not to divert your attention. This little gadget also will serve to make sure how many disturbances happen when you were practicing concentration and meditation exercises. All you have to do is move a bead or a knot at every interruption. The practical use of autosuggestion is very simple. If you have worded that which you want to achieve in a precise sentence in the present and imperative form, such as I feel better and better every day, or I do not like smoking or drinking, or I am healthy, content, and happy, then you may proceed to the real practice. Immediately before falling asleep, take your string of beads or knots, and whether in undertone, softly, or in your mind, according to your surroundings, repeat the phrase you have chosen and move one bead or knot at every repetition until you arrive at the end of the string. Now you know for sure that you repeated the formula 40 times. The main point is that you imagine your wish as being already realized and having actual existence. If you do not yet feel sleepy after the 40 repetitions, engage yourself for a while longer with the idea that your wish has been accomplished, and keep doing so until at last you fall asleep with your desire still in mind. You must try to transfer your desire to the sleep. Should you fall asleep while reiterating the formula, the purpose will be achieved. In the morning, when you are not quite up and have some time to spare, you ought to reach for the string of beads and repeat the exercise once more. Some people get up several times during the night to urinate, or for some other reasons. If so, they can repeat the exercise as well, and they will attain their desires all the sooner. The more modern practice is to use a repeating cassette tape to accomplish this automatically, but I imagine the effort might be something else. Now the question arises, what kind of wishes can be accomplished by self-suggestion? Principally, every wish can be fulfilled as far as mind, soul, and body are concerned. For example, refining of the character, repression of ugly qualities, weaknesses, disorders, recovery of health, removal and promotion of various aptitudes, development of faculties, and so on. Certainly, desires have nothing to do with the personality, as lottery numbers and such can never be fulfilled. So that is the end of autosuggestion. So you can take that and compare that to any other forms of autosuggestion or, similar things you might use. And practice them. This is part of the initiation into Hermetics. And there will be Evocation and the Cabala after this book. But first you must be initiated. Or you could skip it, and just go tumbling down, whatever rabbit holes you wish. I'm not here to stop you. But anyway, thanks for hanging out. And next time, we will have magic mental training. Thanks for joining me. Please give me a like if you liked it. Give me a comment. Tell me about your experiences. Thank you, and have a great day.